Well, it's time now to review headlines on today's newspapers with the Ombudsman of This Day and Arise Media Group and This Day Newspaper Limited Group Executive Director Kayode Komolafe. Good morning, Mr. KK. Thank you so much for joining us on the Sunday morning show this morning. Very Sunday Tonic program.
Good morning, Oji. Good morning, Steve.
Yes.
And good morning, Kashi.
All right, thank you.
I'm pleased to be here.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, let's go straight into it. We will start, as always, with the newspaper of record, This Day on Sunday. And, of course, without having to state the obvious, the news of the day is what This Day on Sunday has led with. Not just the lead story, but the second lead to, as we will say, in the newsroom. And it's about the straining relationship between Nigeria and the United States, or more appropriately put, the way that the American president, Mr. Donald Trump, is taking the issue of the perceived attacks and killings in Nigeria. So this day leads with this headline: Trump in tweet threatens military action against terrorists killing Christians in Nigeria. And the two riders orders U.S. Department of War to prepare for possible action, vows to cut economic aid. And the other rider, we're preparing for action, says Exet, who is the Secretary of War. He used to be the Secretary of Defense, or, the Ministry of Defense. The story on top of it, which is the second lead story, is also about that, but it's about the Nigerian response to what Donald Trump is saying. And the headline says, Nigeria protects citizens of all faiths, will never encourage religious persecution. Tinubu replies Trump, and the riders rejects designation of Nigeria as country of particular concern. Claims of Christian killings in Nigeria, gross exaggeration, says Onanuga. That's by Onanuga, the presidential spokesperson. To highlight, KK, the importance of this lead story on the cover of This Day, and as I said earlier, which is the story of the day, possibly will be the story of the week, given the possible implications. I'd like to read to you the headlines as captured by other newspapers, even though you come back to This Day in discussing the issue. Is the lead also in Sunday Punch, and it says, Trump to Nigeria, stop the killings or face military action. And there's a quote there that says, I am instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet. That's Trump. And then there's a counter, quote from the president, which says the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality. That's Tinubu, the president. Sunday Sun also leads with the same story. And it says, country of particular concern knocks kudos for Trump. The riders, Tinubu rejects labeling as shores of Nigeria's religious freedom. Sharia Council, clerics, groups condemn U.S. president's move. Khan seeks action against terrorism financiers. And then what designation means for Nigeria. That's according to diplomats. Tribune didn't lead with it, but it has a very big headline, towards the down part of the cover. Country of particular concern, it says, Tinubu fires back at Trump, says his comment does not reflect reality in Nigeria. We safeguard freedom of religion for all Nigerians, he adds. Ndume, Rafsanjani, Arise, Arishe Adedipe urge federal government to dialogue with the U.S. So, KK, those are the other headlines in other papers. But as I said, we're back to This Day, which dedicated at least two major headlines to that stories. If we want to have another look at, a look at a few other stories that are there on the cover of This Day, like on the window, PDP's leadership crisis deepens as party suspends national secretary, and with three others. And then on the strip, Zenith Bank others surmount turbulent macroeconomic environment, post 3.58 trillion profit before tax. And last but not the least, the strip towards the end, 2027, Northern elders, politicians push for united front, more regional unity summit in early 2026, which is a story on page 10. But undoubtedly, as I said earlier, KK, the story of the day is what this day has dedicated two major headlines to. Trump, in tweet, threatens military action against terrorists killing Christians in Nigeria, and then the response from the government. Nigeria protects citizens of all faiths, will never encourage religious persecution. Tinubu replies, Trump, where are we, KK? Diplomacy totally broken down? War looming? What can we do? What can the government of Nigeria do now that all fangs are bare?
Yeah. Indeed, Steve, the threat from Washington is the story of the day. And I agree with your projection that maybe it may be a story, for the coming days. Now, just for clarification, the two stories, both President Tinubu's statement and President Trump's tweet, should be taken together. But in terms of sequence,
yes,
the tweet, the tweet of the latest tweet of President Trump came after
the response from the President
Tinubu.
After
President Tinubu was reacting to the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular interest.
Okay.
So it was perhaps very late last night that the tweet of President Trump,
so there hasn't been a formal response to the tweet.
Exactly,
from the Nigerian
just for clarification. Yeah. Yep. It's a development that requires a very sober view. That is taking a sober view of things in Nigeria, because it's serious, because we are having the president of the most powerful nation, militarily, and otherwise, issuing this threat. So it is important that a sober view of it should be taken. Two, it will also be helpful to put the development in context. And that's, I agree with you that you asked some questions about what should we do? What should be the response? And I'm saying that the response, will be on two levels. One, the response of the Nigerian government, and also two, the response of the Nigerian people. Now, let's take first the response of the Nigerian government. I think there are two things. First is that it's an issue of diplomacy, because we are talking of relations between two sovereign countries. Yes, America and Nigeria. So the government has the responsibility of responding diplomatically. And that will mean that Nigeria will have to bolster its diplomatic capacity to be able to deal with the matter diplomatically. The other aspect, that is, engagement, the standard engagement. The other aspect is internal, and that is that regardless of the different perspectives that people may have for this, one thing, which is the truth, in the whole thing, is that because Nigeria has a problem of insecurity, terrorists, bandits are killing people in Nigeria, Muslims, Christians, adherents of other religions, people who are even non-believers, atheists, agnostics, they are all victims, of killing. So Nigeria has a problem of insecurity. And what is important is that the Nigerian government will have to also bolster its capacity, to stop the killing and make Nigeria a safe place for everybody. That is the
bottom line.
The bottom line. Now, when I say, that is at the level of government, but not at the level of people, which is also very important, is that the development should be properly understood. That is the way we react. First, the claim of President Trump, of officially sanctioned, Christian genocide in Nigeria is a lie. It is not true. It is true that people in Nigeria, there are killings in Nigeria. Among the people killed are Christians, Muslims, adherents of other faiths, and just even people who do not believe in any faith. That is to say that the Nigerian state sanctions the killing, sanctions the genocide of any group of people is a lie. And I think it's the responsibility of all Nigerians, to help in denying that. And that is that it's a movement that calls for national unity, unity of purpose, on that particular purpose. Where we should be united in ensuring that we will challenge the government to ensure that it fulfills its constitutional responsibility, which is the security and welfare of the people and security for everybody. At the same time, we should also be united in not legitimizing this lie that is coming from abroad, that it is not true.
I'm sure that will be a message to those Nigerians, either here or abroad, who are curiously celebrating.
Exactly, and I'm coming to that. That in doing so, that people should be wary of naivety, of naivety and misunderstanding. Now that Trump is not a savior to anybody, in putting so, that the position of Trump, is not for any altruistic interest of protecting Christian or anybody at all, for that matter. That the risk of it is that the promotion of this lie, could provoke a religious, crisis in Nigeria, which we don't need. Why we solve our problem? The second point is that.
What do you think that could possibly happen?
Yes, when you put this binary, analysis, as if Nigeria is divided into two watertight compartments of Muslims and Christians, which is not true. Nigerian populations do not live in watertight compartments of Muslims and Christians. We know that we live in a country whereby even in families, that the husband could be a Christian, the wife could be a Muslim.
Even the first family.
Exactly. Even the first family. There are families that a brother may be a Christian and the sister will be a Muslim. Yes. That's the reality of Nigeria. Yes. The position of America is based on a deliberate distortion of our reality, and we should not accept it. That is number one. Number two, America is the powerful country, it's the most powerful country in the world, no doubt about that. But I dare say, Nigeria is not a colony of America.
No.
Nigeria is not a colony of any other country. No. Nigeria is still a sovereign country. The sovereignty of our country should be defended. Yeah. People should be self-respecting enough. Whatever may be, governments will come and go. Like any other administration, the government that is in power, the Nigerian state, those are in charge of it now, they're a board of passage. They were not there yesterday. They will not be there, forever. But the country will remain. So we should understand that what is at stake now is the sovereignty and the interest of our country. Now, talking about those who are jubilating that, when Trump says that he's putting the brunt of war on this thing, don't forget that the American military-industrial complex, the arms producer, they need market. If there is peace, if there is no war, if there is no war anywhere, why would they sell their arms? That's it.
But Trump has been promoting peace all over the world. Why is he promoting war here?
Now I'm saying that the same Trump was arming Israel, billions of dollars, to kill people in Gaza. Among those people who are victims in Gaza are Palestinian Christians. There's never been a word from America, in solidarity with Palestinian Christians. So if you are talking of Christians, so I'm just saying that people should shake off the naivety, and should not be deluded, in understanding this. Two, what Nigeria needs now, from a friendly country, which I believe America is to help Nigeria in terms of military capacity to deal with the problem of insecurity, to deal with the challenge, terrorism.
So, KK, Trump did that in his first term, when Obama denied the Jonathan administration arms and ammunition to fight Boko Haram. It was Trump in his first term who sold all the Tucano jets, every other thing to us. What do you think has changed? What data is he relying on? What information is he getting that seems to appear as if both countries are not on the same page as to what is actually happening here?
That is what I'm making, that yes, that the premise on which is basing this action is wrong. It is not true, and that is where the diplomacy will come in to get the American government, to understand the true situation. Don't forget that what Trump is doing, is born out of frustration, of what his supporters, the right-wing extremists in America and evangelicals who have been promoting this phantom, Christian genocide in Nigeria, in Ted Cruz, because they could not convince the Congress. Don't forget that Ted Cruz has been pushing this bill, but because they have not made any headway, Trump now has resorted into taking an executive action, which is what he said, but that he's doing, those who are sending this message, they've not even been able to convince the American Congress and the American public, Can
I come in
this?
Here?
Let me just give. Finish what I'm saying. Now what I'm saying that what Trump is saying is not going to be in the interest of anybody, and that in viewing this matter, we should look at the interest, of the country, why we put, our house in order, and that in any case, let us also be guided by history.
Yeah.
America, in this case, I'm not even just limited to because what Trump is doing really is consistent of the history of American intervention in countries. So check the record of America in Afghanistan, in Iraq,
in Libya,
and the rest. What Obama, also in his own moment of delusion, yes, in his own moment of delusion, what Libya. He did in Libya, now is the provenance of what is happening in Sahel today. Yes, America goes into a country, it breaks the country, but does not but lacks the capacity to make it whole again. So we should not allow anybody to come and break our country.
How are you going to prevent that? How are you going to prevent that?
It's the first thing I said. That is that we should put our house in order, that the Nigerian state should rise to the challenge of fulfilling its constitutional responsibility. The Constitution of Nigeria says that it's the duty of the state to ensure the security and welfare of the citizen, and that's why I say that the bottom line is that Nigeria should be kept safe for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regardless of religion or lack of no religion.
All right,
and finally, that for perspective, because we are doing this review, that readers will also find very interesting the back page of This Day Today.
Simon Kolawale's genocide, selective perception, and framing. And must read for those who need context.
Because for instance, someone does a very blunt that Trump, and some of the other people, use the word genocide glibly. That is a definition of genocide. According to the United Nations Convention. Now, the same United Nations, has designated, what is happening in Gaza. As Gaza. Trump or any has never used it. In fact, they deny it. before Trump, President Biden said what was happening in Gaza was not genocide. The same thing consistent with
the American.
Trump has never said the killing of over 60,000 people, including women and children, including Palestinian Christians,
yes,
has never been designated by Trump. So anybody who is looking to Trump as a savior is living in delusion, you know. I'm saying that this is a time for us to unite as a nation, you know. So we put our house in order and reject any imperialist bully.
All right, your points have been.
Genius, you've been.
Yes. No, I mean no, because there are a lot of points that you made, which I absolutely agree with, and which the main point is the Nigerian state has to sit up to protect us. I mean, that's really what the bottom line is. But I'd like to quickly read Trump's statement on Truth Social, and it goes, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, gone a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, it will be vicious and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attacked our cherished Christians, warning the Nigerian government better move fast. And this is the statement. So I don't see any sort of misunderstanding in what he has said at this point, because when you think about the Christians worldwide, when they hear or read this sort of statement coming from the most powerful man in the world, the USA, you will understand that they would seem to be very excited. It will be an exciting news for them. Christians, I just said. Christians worldwide, plus Nigeria, obviously. Because, and I say so because this has been going on for decades. We have seen mass burials. We have seen Christians being killed. We have seen it. We cannot deny that Christians have not been killed in Nigeria. Only yesterday, I watched a video of an evangelist, Dachamo. He went to Plateau State and he wanted to document this video showing a wall where about 500, he went to a mass grave, 500 Nigerian Christians were killed in one day. You ask the question, what has changed? Yeah. Where is the data coming from? Between the first time, where is the data coming from? This evangelist also documented, he has documents to show that Christians are being killed. We cannot deny that fact.
The and US the more on International Religious Freedom in March of this year released, the data which suggested data that Nigeria should be designated as country of
particular concern, which has happened
now. In July, they reiterated it. Yes. The March thing was global. In July, they now focused on Nigeria.
Yes.
My worry is why we left all these interventions and diplomatic,
2 years after this administration, we have no ambassadors, Steve. Correct. No ambassadors to give the sort of narrative that you have just shared here, to provide the sort of data that we need to see, to provide the sort of calm that Christians around the world need to hear. We are seeing data of Christians being killed.
Not as much genocide, though.
Well, the designation, the conversation about whether it amounts to genocide or not is this diplomatic conversation, but there's facts are still there. Absolutely. When we talk about that, we have to understand that the world is a global village. We're not alone in this fight. And what the president has charged the Nigerian government is to act fast. If we are in the north, if we are experiencing this sort of killings that these are people from the north central have experienced so far, you will understand their pain. Plateau State, Benue State, Niger State. 2 years ago, the governor of Benue State, Autumn, raise the alarm. We're not the only ones. I mean, it's not only America that is speaking. But if the president is saying that Nigerian government needs to act fast, that is what we should encourage. They have to act fast. Our brothers and sisters, be it Muslims, Christians, cannot keep dying from these terrorists. And if it takes the American government to go kill these terrorists that have been causing this mayhem in Nigeria, that should be what should happen.
Really?
I understand, hold on.
Really?
There are consequences. There are consequences to war. But we cannot...
Let's be careful what we invite.
No, I'm not inviting. I mean,
Let's
how are you going to stop it? It's only diplomatic conversation. We have to show proof. We have to show action. What are you going to do about it?
If I may just add to this, right? I often find it so interesting when we're so passionate about defending who we are as a nation.
Yeah.
When we start to see that other people are noticing our inefficiencies.
Yes.
If we're so perturbed by this tagline, how about we start to actually deal with insecurity? How about we tell the US... No.
The Nigerian government.
It's not a charge.
What is it?
At this point in time,
it
is a matter of emergency. This charge that you call a charge,
that emergency will come from America?
Whether it comes
Where
from...
has it worked?
That's not the issue. If I may just make my point, right? Wherever it comes from, with this charge, even as journalists, we've been saying this, we've been talking about this for years. And we have been appealing, we have been preferring solution. We have had several security agencies, we have had several people in political positions sit in this chair and tell us what is going to happen. But clearly we've seen none of that. So what I'm saying is, I find it interesting how emotional we are about, this tag of genocide. It's very easy. We can tell the US to go back.
Do you think that there's genocide going on in Nigeria?
Hold on a minute. Do you think...
No,
Steve, we cannot... Let me land. Let me land, if I may. Let me just land.
What we are proposing.
Here is the fact. The fact is Nigeria is a highly insecure country.
That's correct,
And if the tag of genocide incenses us so deeply, then let us fix our country and make it more secure for the people. We cannot say Christians are not dying. Neither can we say Muslims are not dying. People are dying on a daily basis, and they are dying as a result of situations that could also lead to a genocide. So it's not a matter of defending our stance on who we are. It is a matter of saying to the US, listen, we know our issues. We can do this and actually do it.
All right.
Fantastic.
Unfortunately, we have very little time, but we have to take this day style. We have to, because it's...
But just before that, it is important, given what KK has said, because we haven't allowed him to respond, but we don't have time.
Yes.
Yes, people are dying, and we charge our government again.
Yes.
I'm not tired of charging.
Okay.
That is what we do as journalists. That is what we do as journalists. And in doing that, let us remember Libya, Afghanistan, etc., where America has, tried to intervene, so that we are conscious of what we are inviting.
Yes,
let's
what
be careful.
Affects one Nigerian.
Let's be careful and let's be guided.
So that's the most important thing. Hold on.
Excuse me, before you take this.
All right, go ahead.
Let me also repeat again.
They're going to cut us
It's
off.
very important. Nigeria is not a colony of America. Excuse me. I didn't interrupt you now. Nigeria is not a colony of America. So to me, it is absurd. It is absurd to say that if America comes to come and intervene in a country that so be it. The sovereignty of Nigeria
My
is
director is saying we cannot take this day style.
She's
saying we cannot take this day style, but she says that we have to flash it. It is Lanre da Silva and friends, 20 years and counting. I mean, she's great, and she's talked about her friends. And the idea of this geographical indication protection is what we talked about for our fashion designers. We hope that will be something that will encourage for fashion. Congratulations to Lanre da Silva. I wish we had more time, because this is such a sensitive topic, Mr. KK.
Thank you, KK.
No Nigerian should die.
Everyone.
Really.
I agree with you.
This is what it is.
No Nigerian should die.